All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Look up on the screen. It has finally arrived.
Good for Becky.
Becky's baby Vivian. So, if you want to call or probably text or email, probably better. So, yeah, very exciting news. They've been waiting a while, obviously. All right, so let's. We got a little breakfast this morning from Bob at Farmers Insurance. Bob, what you got for us?
A couple things. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
I decided to go with happiness and sugar this morning versus Chick-fil-A. So I may get in trouble for that, but enjoy the. By the way, there are less calories than those little nuggets. I checked. So you can go with good conscience. On your tabletops, there's a couple of these Dunwoody guides. The new version, this is actually coming out in a month. There's a lot of really great information about Dunwoody for those of you that sell there. I also have some of these in your sales closet there where all your materials are. This is us, Farmers Insurance in Dunwoody. I'm right next to Piedmont Bank, right on Mount Vernon Road. What I think might be important to you is that as you have clients that are getting ready to close, need insurance quote for homeowners or auto or anything else, we'll guarantee that we'll get that quote to them that day. So I have staff, we answer our phones all the time. Phone goes to my phone, my cell phone when I'm not there, and I work during the evenings and on weekends. So we will take care of your clients, and I have with several of you already. We have 2 or 3 things going on now. The Wellborns, I don't know whose client they are. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Hutchinson. So a few. So thank you for those leads, and we'll follow up on those. The other thing I wanted to mention to you, I have some pens. I brought some of these last time. These are magic pens. If you just try to write with them, they will not write because it's got a little red dot on the bottom of it. So take that off before you use it to sign any deals so that it works the first time correctly. You guys have any questions for me? Anything I can do for you today? Okay, thanks for that one clap.
There we go. Thank you, Bob. All right, so we are hitting a critical time of the year and major changes in the air. So what is that?
School is back.
Thank you, Gigi. School is back. I would say what, 50% are back in as of today? Next 2 weeks, the other 50. So what does that mean to you?
Traffic. Yep.
Exactly. Traffic patterns change a ton. Okay? So you have to prepare for that, especially if you're showing. Shoot, I would say what time does school get out? 2:30, 3:30. Anytime after 2:30, you're probably going to have to budget more time to get to where you're meeting people, correct? Yep. Okay, so what's a good plan for that actually? I mean, we're talking about customer service today. One part of customer service in my mind is you're on time, right? I understand your client probably won't be on time, but it's not good if they're there and you're not there and it's time, right? So what's a good plan for that, knowing that traffic can vary?
You know, we're of the opinion that wherever you want to go, it takes an hour. Yeah. So, and that's it. You just plan on the front end.
Okay. I would budget more time. What else? What's a good plan?
Scheduling around school buses coming out. Plotting your course so you know you're going to be avoiding heavy traffic areas at specific times or a couple.
Yeah, I think we're pretty aware of like the worst intersections, right? Where traffic's bad, but I'm going at something else. What else? What's going to keep you? What?
Confirm your appointment, text them.
Well, that's always good. You should do that every day, right? I mean, if you want to have more appointments show up, text them the day before. Yeah.
I don't have many buyers, but I might want them to ride with me if it's convenient to leave their car where we might wrap up and then go together. That way, if we're running late, at least we're together. Yeah. We can commiserate.
Yep, not bad. Good idea. What else? What'll make you happier that if you're having to budget being there 30 minutes, 15 minutes ahead of your time, what's going to make you happier that you actually do that? That you're not out of business by What's that?
Get to preview the house before the clients get there and turn the lights on.
Get a pop light.
If you have your cell phone, which you should, and you should have your laptop, you need a laptop, okay? And everyone's phone in this day and age has a hot spot that your laptop's working, right? So to me, that would be the plan. I'm gonna be there ahead of time, so I'm a professional. I'm giving top service, and I don't have a problem doing that, because now, while I wait, I'm just gonna be in business doing stuff, right? Calling, texting, email. Okay? That's it, plain and simple. Okay, so be prepared. It's a big change. I mean, even in the morning, even at 7 or 8 in the morning, you put and a lot of people now go cross town to school, right? So you're putting a lot more people on the road. Just be prepared for that. It's happening. All right, what else has changed? Maybe as of yesterday, you might have noticed it. What's that? What happened? Went down fairly large, right? Biggest day in 2019? Okay, so one day doesn't mean anything, actually. If you're an investor in stocks, I wouldn't change a thing. Obviously, we should all be doing long-term investing, so it shouldn't make a difference. But what was connected with that? What caused that to go down big?
Increasing in tariffs.
Well, that did. So this is even more economically technical. What else happened with yield curves?
Inverted.
Okay, and what's that mean, Charlie?
Short-term rates are higher than long-term rates.
Okay, which is kind of weird, right? Not normal.
Not normal. Usually indicates early stage of a recession.
That's what I'm trying to get at. So they've been inverted for a little while, but they inverted big yesterday, right?
Big.
So all I'm saying is we will now pay even closer attention. Historically, that's been a very good lead indicator of slowing in the economy. So we'll take a look. Even though if you thought or read further, it's interesting because they were talking about a lot of money coming out of stocks, but where's that money going to?
Real estate.
Real estate.
Exactly. So this isn't necessarily a bad thing for us. And I mean, that's exactly what they said, right? So it actually could be a good thing. We don't know. All I'm saying is we have a situation, inverted yield curves, that's bordering on 2007, which we remember as a pretty significant year. So we watch closely. Even though there's something very different now than 2007.
Rates. The rates are lower now.
Right, low and going lower. Even more important, 2007 we had very high supply, and now we have very low supply. And I'm 60 years old, but I can't remember a time when we had a major correction with supply low. Just doesn't seem to make sense to me. So we're just going to watch, right? But there are some things to start watching now, correct? Could be a plus for us, really could. Okay? All right. This is a 20-minute video that I want you to watch.
Hilarious.
And you're going to think I'm a little crazy to start with,
Yes.
but
So fun.
believe it or not, this is a 50-year-old video, and it's got an unusual title, Where's the Pickle?
Keep it.
Just
Keep it clean.
keep it clean, okay? But I don't know how many of you remember Farrell's, the restaurant. Okay?
My first job.
But I
Seriously.
my
Seriously.
God.
Okay?
Best ice cream
Yeah, Farrell's
sundaes.
ice
Right. And so we're talking customer service. These guys, that's what they did. They were before Chick-fil-A. They were before the Ritz-Carlton. And this guy had a lot of ideas of how to provide top customer service. So one thing they did was on your birthday, you got a free Sunday. No, Sunday. Good guess. But leaving, apparently their pickles were pickles that people begged for, okay? And I mean, there are some. Like if you ever had Henri's sandwich, what makes their po' boys is their pickle. Okay, so you got one of these when you left as a customer, and that is what this is titled. Apparently, one guy came up and he didn't get one. Okay, so you'll like this. This is he's a funny, interesting
Eddie,
guy.
can you hit the lights?
There we go. Remember, that's 50 years old. It's actually probably ahead of its time.
My name is Bob Farrell, and I've been very fortunate to work a lifetime at something I love doing, serving customers. For me, it was ice cream parlors. For you, maybe it's retail, healthcare, finance, etc. Whatever we do, remember, our business is not what we sell, it's who we serve. You and I are in the people business. We take care of people for a living. Hopefully, they leave happier than when they came in. At least, that's what we try. One of the best things that ever happened to me was to get a letter from a disappointed customer. Dear Mr. Farrell, I've been coming to your restaurant ever since you opened. I really love the place. Love your ice cream. I love the fun. I love your hamburgers. They're the best. I love your pickles. They are the best pickle in Seattle. I always ask for an extra pickle. They always give me one. Today, Mr. Farrell, I came in, had my usual, ask for an extra pickle from the young waitress. Well, I don't know where she got the idea, but she said, well, I'll have to sell you a side of pickles for 75 cents. That's the way you're going to run your restaurant, Mr. Farrell. I'm not coming back. Well, I got that letter from an entrepreneur who was just starting on his second store. That hurt. I wrote him a letter. I said, please, we still get pickles away. Don't you worry about it. Please come back. Gave him a coupon. But what happened is, I thank him to this day. The war cry of our company became, give them the pickle. Take care of the customer. No matter what happens in our business and we hear something going on, somebody says, what should we do? Give them the pickle. I talk to companies all over the world. No matter where I go, I always find that successful companies and successful employees have mastered the same four things when it comes to taking care of customers. The first thing they do is give away pickles. They make people happy. In other words, they've made serving others their number one priority. I spoke to a bunch of garbage men. They brought me in to speak on customer service. I gave a talk, they gave me a big hand, they loved it, da-da-da-da. And after my talk, the guy comes up, he said, Mr. Farrell, I love your story about the pickle. I said, well, thank you. He said, we give pickles away all summer. I'm thinking garbage truck pickles. Guy got it screwed up. I said, what do you mean you give pickles away? He says, we start lawnmowers. I said, what? We start lawnmowers. What do you mean? He said, well, my son and I, we drive around, he helps me in the summertime, and we see somebody up on their lawn cranking away, we stop the truck, go up there, and we start the lawnmower for them. We can start any lawnmower ever made. I said, you got it. That's the pickle. What's your pickle? What is that extra or special thing you do to make people happy? That's your pickle. Maybe it's walking the customer to the item they're looking for instead of just pointing. Maybe it's a handwritten thank you on every order shipped out to the customer. Maybe instead of just delivering their food, patients get a menu so they can order what they want when they want it. The trick is to find out what the customer wants. Make sure they get it. That's the pickle.
I thought it was longer. That's it? Okay, that's good. That's good. It's fine and short.
That's the ridiculous version.
Okay, there we go.
Did you get it?
So, what do you take from that?
It's all about customer service.
service.
Yeah, customer service.
Okay, so we
How you
make,
make them feel.
right, we take care of people for a living. Do you all think that? Do you really think that? Every day? Okay, so we're trying to make people happy, right? I'm the same way when he's at the end going, give him a pickle. I'm like, go to closing. Go to your inspection. I mean, that's what we do, right? So, what is it? What is some of your pickles? What do you do intentionally to make the customer happy that's above and beyond?
I think one is just good, I mean, not good, but excellent communications. You know, if you fail not to get back with them quickly, then the problems develop. So communications, I would say.
Okay, Bill.
You navigate the transaction, problems are going to come up, whether you're working with a buyer or seller. You act quickly and provide resources. I've got one right now that has termite, structural, roof, and I've brought in almost immediately vendors to address, so the buyer knows exactly what they're dealing with, because they want to buy this home, but they have to know it. And we're working on the septic today. So you have really quality vendors that you've vetted, and you're prepared to help these people navigate through the transaction and give them the proper information that they need. And you do it rapidly, and it just shows that you have confidence, and it gives the client confidence in you, that you are there to assist them and can work and can help solve their problems.
Good. What else? Eddie.
Well, when I work with buyers, especially out-of-town buyers, and I find out what hotel they're staying at. So I have a bag filled with, depending on the age of the kids, filled with at least water. Like my client from Saturday that was coming in from Ohio, they had a young daughter and a young son, 6 and 8. So we put in coloring book. We got a little dog and a little Jeep, food, goldfish, because everybody. So while we're out and about, it kind of helps keep them distracted. It also, people that are coming in town, they kind of forget that they're going to need water, especially in the heat, or something to drink. They have it. All my information's in there, and it's the first thing they saw. When they got in late, they didn't get until 1:30. That was the first thing he texted me, goes, this was perfect. So then when we met at the thing, we're setting expectations of where we're going, the whole routine, what we may run into, and so forth. So, you know, and I do that even if it's not an out-of-town buyer. My first time I see my buyer, I always have my cooler with ice, with water, and the most important to me is toilet paper and paper towels. Because there's nothing worse than showing a house, especially if it's vacant, and your client has to go to the restroom, and there's no toilet paper and there's no paper towels. And I always give them the bag if they're not riding with me, so they have it in their car. If they're riding with me, I keep it in the car and hand it to them at the end of the day.
Or if you can't make it to a house, you got to stop in the woods, you know.
Yeah.
It's really good to have. What else? So there you go. I mean, that deep down, that's probably for your own benefit that I brought coloring books, because I want them distracted so I can talk to mom and dad.
Right.
But that is above and beyond, right? What else? What are things that just are not normal that you do? Like I told you before, I mean, I love it every time you go to Bones. They bring you, even though it's the size of a little pill cup, it's this big, but they give you like a free little piece of sushi. Well, it just wows me, you know. I'm so happy. I mean, just because it's free. You know? I mean, what else? Are there things that you do intentionally that are that people talk about? No?
Well, I always have a little box of snacks in the back of my truck, so as soon as the kids figure out that I've got them, they're automatically doing it.
Yeah.
Some snacks.
Yeah, and parents love when you take care of the kids,
and then all of
right?
a sudden they come in and they have water, I always have water. I mean, that little thing always goes a long way. Especially when the parents come in and start getting the snacks. So.
Exactly. This was interesting. I was grocery shopping on Saturday, early, and I noticed a lady that looks like the type of, I'm in the grocery store in like under 3 minutes, everything out, okay? Like I'm really trying to, I guess deep down, I'm trying to see how fast I can do it. I mean, I don't know why. Okay?
We know why, Brett.
Yeah, I might be a D, but this lady was obvious that she might be in there 3 hours, that type of person, okay? That's literally, looking at every item. And so, I don't know why I noticed her, but I've never noticed them. I go to the same Publix every time. Like hanging on little clips outside of the cans, okay? They had like all these kids' toys. They were like cool little things, like a gun that would shoot a propeller, you know what I'm talking about? Or a little glider, or a little thing on your finger that was like a ring that would light up. I mean, and so, and she was looking at these very carefully and putting them in her cart, and they're like $2. So I started looking and go, wow, these are really cool. I mean, these are, these are pretty good. So I bought like 12 of them. That's what I did all weekend. No. So, as it turned out, literally, like 2 hours later, I had them in my car. I think I told you, first time ever I bought a house this year, I have a tenant that can't speak English. Okay, they're totally Spanish speaking. And they're great family. They got these 2 little kids, so cute. So, he has a good job, but he has no checking account. So this is really, I have to go by every month and collect rent, which he pays in cash, okay? So I go by there, well, I have these little toys for these kids. I mean, it was like the greatest ever. It was, they're just, jumping all over. I think little things like that you're prepared for. What else? You do things. You have your yard of the month and...
Well, I think it's I think it's the personal part, like
Right.
and after the closing,
Right.
Expressing interest in what is happening after the closing
Yes.
is actually the reason for repeat business. I mean, because you're
And that's what we're looking for.
Right.
Customer service.
But I mean, you're really truly you're interested in whatever happens.
You truly are interested.
Right.
But I agree. That's probably of all the things that RJ just got paid today, and why is she calling me tomorrow?
Right.
Wanting to do some more stuff for me. Right. Whether it's, did you get this? Just making sure you got your utilities. Can I bring this by? Whatever it is.
Right. Checking on them after the fact.
Yeah.
And, just if they have a child, if they have a baby, if they have a life event, keeping up with them in that way as well.
Anything else? Anything people do that are just intentionally extra special?
On that same line, I did something like that for a client I saw that posted that they had a baby. It was a little bit after closing. I just pulled up their baby registry and sent them a little gift, just something to kind of, because that was one of the reasons they bought the house. So just keeping up with little things like that, or doing, I used to have a bakery, and so one of my specialties is baking, and so I try to make sure I have a gift for a client at closing that's personal like that. Bring them a treat, because it's, above and it's different than the norm.
Can you start bringing samples, please?
Yeah.
Huge thing when they know you baked yourself. Think about this, okay? Hopefully you have multiple things that just make what you do outstanding. Okay? Mickey.
So obviously I'm a vendor, but I've been sitting in Keller Williams meetings for 12 years, and I had an agent mailing me a handwritten thank you card and had her card in it and a scratch off in it. And I got a kick out of it. My son's standing there, and I was like, look at Mara. She's going out of her way. It was above and beyond,
Did you win?
No.
Yeah, people like that. Actually, if you pay attention, I mean, I'd never buy a ticket for myself in a million years, but if the lottery gets up to a significant number, man, get those out. I mean, I think I told you the story when I did that at the pig roast, but people act like you gave them $1 million, even though you spent $1. You know, just text them, go, here are your numbers. You know, because you only have like a 2-day window, right, before it goes again. Okay, Bill? You have your hand raised? Okay, there we go. So think about this. This is important. We want repeat business. We want people to come in because of the customer service. And the longer version of this, truly they do your birthday, they give you a Sunday.
And
They sing. All the staff sings.
Yep.
Important part of their business, why people came back. Bob, I just handed you that. So put up Bob's schedule. So we are at that time of year. Actually, this morning I have had 3 people already of the male gender say 25 days, right? Guys just can't stand it. I mean, it's August now. Football starts in 25 days. So, knowing that this is an important thing for a lot of guys and women, a lot of women follow football. This is Bob. This is magnetic, right? Goes on your calendar. So you handed me this, and you should have this out now. So if you haven't, get it going. So tell us about this. What's your purpose?
What's my purpose?
Yes.
You know, I have a lot of guys that stick that on their desk. Just, there it is. It's there every day. People see it every day.
So you get
Long shelf life.
basically 5 months out of this, right?
Right, absolutely.
Right. So picture, and you've designed yours a little different. Tell us what you did.
Well, anyone that's a real football fan is probably, you know, here's all the SEC teams, here's all the ACC teams, but 90% of the people who live in Georgia care only about certain teams. They could give a rat's, you know what, about the rest. So Magnets USA allows you to put whatever teams you want. 14 teams, pick them. So we got the Falcons, we got Georgia, Georgia Tech, Alabama, all the pertinent teams. And the University of Texas in the bottom right.
I see it.
Where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? Yeah.
Because.
Wow.
Yeah, but you've even got Georgia State, Georgia Southern.
You can't see it up in the upper left. It's Falcons. So yeah, he's tried to make it where these are the teams you really want to look at. Okay? And you get a ton of shelf life out of this. How much are these a piece?
I think they're 61 cents.
61 cents. You mail them, you deliver them.
Can mail them, they give you that option. I hand deliver them.
There you go. 61 cents for something that somebody wants with 5 months of shelf life.
But how many do you have to order? Like 1,000?
100.
Oh, okay.
No, not bad.
Okay, that's not bad.
100 might be 70. Actually, I think I ordered 250, and I think they were 51 cents. I think 100 is 61.
But now's the time. Okay? Now's the time. Football's
Turn
about
that around right now in about 10 minutes.
Football's about to start. So again, we're trying to come up with a years-long touches and ways to stay top of mind with our database. This is a good one. This is a very good one. For the money, it might be the best one, right?
Dr. Bob, who'd you go through on that
Magnets USA.
Magnets USA.
Oh, Magnets.
And they're special Keller Williams pricing, so make sure you tell them you're with KW.
Can't beat it. All right? All right, top producers. We just finished July. Very good July. So we announced 2 ways. We announced year to date. We announced for the month. This is year to date. Top producers in our Dunwoody office. So, top teams, 2 and 2 only. They've been there the whole year. RJ and Jim McCarty. 2, Tara and Gary Gaines, on track to do over 100 closings this year. And realize that they actually live in Alabama and they work mostly West Georgia. They work Alabama too, but this is just Georgia deals.
Amazing.
Okay? 3, Deb and Michael Martino. 4, Kathy and Bill Haas. 5, Eddie Levin and Sam Klein. Congratulations. Groups, 3 or more licensed agents working together. Dave and Becky Evans Group just had a baby. Number 1, Nicole Ambrose Group 2, Providence Group 3, Alexander Group 4, the Bolt Group 5. Congratulations. Tight race for top commercial this year. Number 1, Scott Morchauer. Number 2, Steve Fader coming on fast. 3, Joe Cannon, never count him out. 4, Josephine Chang. 5, J.M. Scott. Congrats. And individuals 1 through 15. 1, Dan Bangs. 2, Cynthia Pierce. 3, Mike Culver. 4, Rob Carino. 5, Ming Joe. 6, Brandon Atkins. 7, Denise McEnany. 8, Virginia Moran. 9, Paige Pace. 10, Jenna Huffam. 11, Toshma Graves. 12, only a year in the business, Joe Bombara. 13, George Jackson the 4th. 14, Amisha Mason. And 15, Becky Beal. Congratulations. Okay, so we got 5 months left. All right, let's, we have some certificates to give out today, don't we?
Here we, yes, okay. Oops. Thought I'd get my water over. All right, we have some agents, and we want to celebrate that they earned their first dollar in real estate with either a May or a June closing. And they get their first dollar. Sherry Harge. Come on, baby. And she's in Ignite now. Dressed in her Keller Williams red and black. Woo! Okay, our next one is Renita Crawley. Fierce woman. Yes. And we have Deborah Hughes, who's also in Ignite. With Brandon Atkins. And lastly, Erica Ariola. Also in Ignite. So we have a powerful Ignite class that they're already in business. Very proud of it. Good. That's it.
Oh, sorry. Hello. Tell us about training.
Okay.
We have a class after this.
Right after this, the Lynn and Renee show contracts, and we're going to cover counteroffers. I know that can be tricky, especially if you haven't ever done, you know, if you have more than one counter, do you number it number 1, number 2, you know, so these finer points we're going to cover today right after 11:30, stay Lynn and Renee. And then after our Thursday Ignite class, our favorite Kay Burt from FMLS, she's so peppy and we love her, teaching a new class, but it is CE credit, working with buyers and sellers. It's a new class that FMLS has put together, and she thinks it's great, so we're taking her advice. So please sign up. You can do that on our intranet this Thursday, 3 hours. Free. Yay. That's what we got going. And what's next week, Brad?
Next week, we have mega agents. We have about 20 going from this office. So Keller Williams has a big convention in February called Family Reunion. A mini convention every August or September. This year in August. Actually, it's all week. In Austin every year, downtown Austin Convention Center. Only going to average 104 degrees out there next week, so should be a little toasty. But we're all together. We're all in the convention center, all hearing Gary, not breaking out, just all together. So this will be my 19th mega. It's always good.
RJ, when did we, who all went with you the first year that I was in business, when we went to Mega Camp?
Mm-hmm. Denise and you and me and Connie Martin.
And where did we stay? How many rooms did we stay in?
So Stacy had the wonderful idea that 4 of us would share a room to save money.
4 middle-aged women, yes.
And we got through it, and we had a blast. So there's a way to go economically if you want to.
Yeah, Denise back in
But it's
Connie Martin. Yep.
Do you remember what you wore the first day? What did you have for breakfast? Okay, let's move on.
The wine.
There we go. So let's back up a little bit. You got to know contracts, okay? You can never go to too many contract classes. This is the way we do business. You have to know every word in there. You have to know every paragraph. You have to know what it means. You have to know the risk for yourself and your customer, and you need to be able to, anything they ask you, you can explain it. So you can never go to too much of this. You mentioned counter offers. I think it's a very important part of contracts, and negotiation are an art form, okay? And you have to get really good at it. The better agents are just better at it, okay? So let's just stop there for a minute. So you're the listing agent, you've received an offer, okay? What is your strategy in your counteroffer? And realize when I got in the business, there was no internet, there was no computer, so everything was someone handed you a handwritten contract and you crossed off the changes and initialed it, right? And it was tough because the contracts didn't give you enough room to do that, right? You were writing, little. Okay, so what do we do? We obviously use a counter offer form, right? And this is one of the most misunderstood things in the industry. So what do you actually? What does that mean? What is the counter offer? Well, I'll just tell you. I'm not going to ask you. So basically, people don't understand this. Everything that is not on that counter offer form, you have accepted. Okay? Realize that. So if there's only 2 changes, everything else in the contract you've accepted. Okay.
So make sure your client knows that.
Correct.
Steps, every detail.
Every detail. So what's our, yes?
And if you have multiple counter offers, it's only the last counter and the offer. It's not anything in between. So if you've agreed on the refrigerator stays in counter 3, but it's not in counter 4, it's not in your contract.
Which is a little bit confusing.
Well, you just take the last one and the offer. But yes, it is confusing. People
You have to
keep
bring
moving,
everything
keep
forward.
everything you're changing forward.
Correct. Okay? That can really put you, in today's topic, in a pickle. Okay? If you have,
Right.
you've agreed on it and think it's agreed, but it's not in that last
Put it in the
form.
last version.
Right. So that's the biggest point. Okay? You need to get that right. But what's your theory on how we counter? Everything from speed to what we do. So my listing, I get an offer from you today at 4, and it's given me till tomorrow at 5. Time limit. What you thinking? When do we respond? Assuming we want to respond, it's just one offer.
I think it depends on, you get it at 4, your client's possibly at work,
Okay,
But,
probably true.
You do a net sheet.
So what's your first step? What's your first step when you get the contract?
You review it, you make sure everything is complete. If there's anything missing, you ask the agent for that, but you also call the agent, you let them know that you received it. And at that point, you ask any questions, you make sure the pre-approval letter is there, you call the lender, do all of those things. Those are the first steps.
Exactly right. This should be a list you do every time. If it was me, I would go ahead and send it to my client. I'm gonna go, I'm sending you the contract. I'm not commenting on good, bad, anything. I'm just getting it to you. Give them a lot of time to just look at it on their own. Don't even comment on it. I mean, you could. I mean, if it was really bad, you go, hey, it's a pretty bad offer. Or you could probably say, hey, pretty good first offer, right? Okay, and then I ask all the questions, right? Thank you very much for sending it. The other agent knows I got it. You've read through the contract. Anything that seems not industry standard, why are you asking for 60-day closing? We understand all that, right? Okay, so when all that's been done, when would you, unless unusual circumstances, when would you normally respond? What's your thought? All this should be a strategy.
The next day.
That afternoon, yeah.
You would respond the next day. Why?
I mean, I would, usually the seller wants some time to think about it.
Correct. What else?
It depends. Yeah, it depends on the way, how high the offer, if it's really close and you go boom, like that, or,
Right.
you know, and you think everybody wants to do it. If it's a low offer, I'm gonna probably wait till the next morning,
Why?
just because you don't wanna look desperate
Okay.
or whatever. Like if the seller's trying to, you know, I strategize with the seller and ask them what they wanna do as well. It just kind of depends on how it feels.
Correct, but there is a feel, right?
Yes.
So, you're right. I think there's a feeling that if they get a counter back in 15 minutes, that feels
Oh, seller, you can come down.
desperate, right? Okay, so next day, do you wait till, do you do it at 9, 12, 4? I mean, this is all, there should be thought behind everything you do, yes.
But it depends, because sometimes if you are expecting another offer,
Mhm.
sometimes you are expecting another offer from agents, and so it all depends.
Okay, we're not expecting anything at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously if you're expecting something, we would
Wait.
Okay, we're not expecting anything. When would you count it?
I would get it out in the morning, you
Yeah.
know, 9 or 10 in the morning, you know, call the agent, let them know it's coming, call them, make sure they received it, call them, make sure they received it, and that gives them adequate time to respond by the end of the day, potentially.
Okay, so we are trying to balance, not too quick and desperate, but not too long where we're upsetting them,
Get
right?
to the last
Right,
minute.
right, like this, I mean, come on, this is a pretty simple offer. What's taking you so long, right? Okay, I mean, there is a balance between, we've already put bad energy in the deal because we've waited too long naturally, right? Okay, how about this one? So let's just say our offer, 500,000, came in, just been on the market a week, came in at 440. When would you counter?
Not, well, if you counter at list price, you can counter immediately.
Okay, but what, so when you would counter immediately?
If you're gonna come back strongly holding your position.
How much time did they give me to counter?
Well, they gave me a full day, next day at 5.
I respond the next day at 5, 4 o'clock.
Okay, why?
We're just let them know we're not in a hurry. Your offer is kind of low, and you know we're not in a big hurry to accept it. And we'll probably come back with something very good.
Okay, so I think we can make a statement here, right? Right? I mean, and sometimes that offer, I've had plenty work out in that range, right? I mean, when I got it, I would probably have called and gone, hey, Bob, we've been on a week. It's been shown 14 times in a week. Your offer's a little low. Any reason behind that? I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but here's another. That's probably the second most misunderstood thing in contracts. What does that time limit mean? Might be the first most understood. Yes.
The time limit is the time limit of that offer.
That every piece of that offer. The closing date, all steps.
So after 5, that offer's gone.
That's gone.
It doesn't really mean.
It doesn't mean you can't counter it.
No, it doesn't
You
mean you
can
have to counter by
the next
them.
day
Right?
and keep the thing going.
Correct.
But people think you have to answer by 5.
Totally
That
misunderstood.
it's a law. or
Yeah, totally.
something.
All
It's
it's
not.
saying is that offer's good till 5 o'clock.
Right.
Okay, if you actually sent back signed at 5:10, the other side, the original buyer, could say,
No.
I'm sorry, our offer was only good till 5, right? So you get it all the time. Don't you have people call up and go, RJ,
Yes.
it's 5. You haven't responded.
And
Right?
it's not. It's for that offer. So if you're changing the closing date because you're on vacation,
Right.
it is a counter. And even if it's made, whenever it's made, if everybody agrees and signs in that time frame, you're still under contract.
Right, so understand that, okay? Understand that if you know you're going to counter, there's no time limit, right?
Right.
Well, there's a common courtesy
It's a
though. to let
There's a
them
common
know.
courtesy and
You
not
know,
upsetting the other
I would
side.
call them up and say, look, we'll have something back to you. Might not be by the deadline, but we're gonna
Right,
get something
that's
back to you.
And I would do that. But in this particular case, 440 on my 500, I wouldn't call them. I'd wait till 5. Okay? And I'd wait till 6. And I'm actually going to enjoy this. I'm going to wait for the call or text going, oh my gosh, it's 5, you didn't respond. Right?
Is that what Bob Farrell would do?
That's what Bob Farrell would do here. So,
I don't think so.
well, no, what I'm trying to do is cause a deal to happen, correct?
Excuse me?
I'm trying to cause a deal to happen, and I'm trying to make a point, which is y'all gave us a really bad offer without saying that. Okay, so I'm waiting for this call or this text so I can do my next step, which is, so they call at 5:10 and say, we didn't get a response. Well, that's showing something right there, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Right? They're a little bit more interested than we thought. And I'm probably going to wait. I'm not going to text in 2 minutes, but I'll probably text in 20 or call. Nancy, yeah, we didn't respond by 5. You're all, we've been on a week. This is a great house. We've had 2-second showings, 14 showings. You offered 440. So, yes, we didn't respond in time. But we are going to respond, but you just need to understand that you're going to have to come up at time. Right. And I'm going to tell you the counter. I'm going to say, we're going to give you another shot. We're not sticking on the price. We're going to come down to $494. But if you want this, you're going to have to come way up from $440.
Got your checkbook, Nancy.
See, she can't say anything. She just came up to $493. There we go. So, no, I mean, in this particular case, so counter, just everything about it. Timing's important. How do we counter? What are we looking to counter as a general statement?
I have a question on your last.
Okay, go ahead.
So you're providing a verbal counter because it's so low. I mean, in your call.
I want to talk to her. I'm going to send it in writing.
That
Right.
I just wanted to confirm that.
Right. No, I want, and again, I think part of the problem in this day and age is people want to hide behind text and email, and you want to talk. You want to hear tonality. You want to hear. You're going to get a lot more read from hearing her as opposed to texting. Okay. So what else? What are we trying to do in a counter to make a deal happen?
Give a little, but make it a win-win. Primarily a win for your client. But show a little movement if movement is warranted, and get them to respond.
Yeah, we want a response, and we probably, if possible, want to counter less than more, if it's possible. Okay, if they got a lot of things that are wrong or just not working in the deal, we got to do that. But again, the more things we've narrowed down, we only have 4 things. We only have 2 things versus we're countering 11 things. I mean, you get a higher number back, you're already going like.
Right. In a similar vein, when we say don't, on the amendment to address concerns, don't give them a list of 15 items that just psychologically freaks the seller out. On the counter, try to minimize the number of separate items that you're countering. Psychologically, it's easier to take. If it's just 2 or 3 rather than every single item. That's what you're
Correct.
saying now.
Correct.
Be strategic.
Everything is a strategy with contracts. Okay? Any other comments?
I got one. You also want to look at the statistics for that neighborhood. And you're just going, hey, Brad, average is 97% of list price. How come you gave me an offer so much low? And you might just have a discussion with them.
Yeah, facts are facts. Right. And we're hoping that we are educating them and putting words in their mouth that they will actually take back to their client. Right? So instead of just going, hey, that's a low offer, instead of saying, I'll send you this if you want, but you know, everything's sold in like 7 days for 98%. Right. So true story. You know why I greatly sought after Nancy Aronik to come to Keller Williams back in 2000, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, whenever it was?
That's right.
She was probably the best on-site agent I ever worked with. So I sold a number of her Monty Hewitt homes, and she just did the deal. She made it fun. She communicated. Extremely professional. Everything was done when it was supposed to.
She's changed a lot.
I don't know what happened, but so it's a key. So let's wrap up by going back to customer service. So what is customer service in your point? Obviously, we talked about one thing. Give something extra. Give something not expected. Thank you very much. Okay? But what else? Okay, I'll give you the first one. I think now you could be the most deplorable person on the planet if you respond quickly, you're a professional. You're a professional. The world regards you that way. And it's interesting because I have 350 people to see. It's amazing the difference in your speed of response. I can make a list. These people, if I send this text, they will respond in under 15 seconds. And then I have people that actually text me with a question, and I respond in under 15 seconds, and they don't respond for an hour. Like they needed my help. What happened? What happened? Okay, speed is huge. It's huge. What else? What else? Your top customer service, you're a professional. Obvious stuff.
Being on time, you said.
On time is huge. What else?
Answer the phone.
Yes.
Most of the time.
Tell your clients what's next.
Totally. Set expectations. Great one. Great one. What else? Just knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. We know everything. We know stuff. We know stuff. And I promise you, I still 30 years in the business. You can ask me something that you think I know, and I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay? Like someone comes up to me and goes, "Tell me about that new HELOC Mojo loan program." I'm going to say every time, I'm 95% sure. I want to be 100% sure. I'm going to call you back in under 1 hour. And I will call you back in under an hour. Matt, what the heck is this? Right, there we go.
Brad, I'm not sure about that, but...
There we go. Never heard of it.
95, I want to be 100.
So set expectations. Do what you say you're going to do. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest ones. Okay? Just do it. I mean, if you promise something by 6, do it. You're already a pro. Wow, I like Scott Morchower. He said he'd get me this by 6, and he got it to me by 5:30. Okay? There you go. Do what you say you're going to do. Plain and simple. Practice these. Try these. All right, we'll go...
Him first.
Her first.
No, him first, because I'm piggybacking off what he said.
Okay. Certainty Home Loans, what do you got? Okay, so one big plus of yesterday that we talked about, rates are low, like historically low, and they're probably going to go lower. Sorry.
That's all I had to say.
Okay.
No, good morning, everybody. Matt Lipp. Paul
Brian.
We just want to touch on new construction this morning. So everyone says new construction, you've always got a preferred lender, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 in closing costs. We have to go that way. And really that's not always the case. Depending on purchase price and sales price, we're able to match, sometimes beat, those preferred lender incentives. So if you've got clients that are looking to do construction, don't automatically think that, oh, we've got to use this preferred lender. And we're more than happy to tell people, look, that preferred lender is the way to go. So we just want what's best for your clients. If it's us, great. If it's the preferred lender, good. Paul actually worked, you've got a story about new construction.
Yes, I used to work for a large builder. We were the lender that was owned by the builder. Our rates were 1/2 to 5/8 higher. And when people would call me and say, man, you got to get me a better rate, my only comeback was, hey, we're closing or paying $5,000 of your closing costs. But they're like, well, my payment's $100 less at this other lender. I'm going to get my money back in 18 months, whatever it is. And, you know, I was like, well, this is the way it is. We're going to, you know, there was no comeback. And I lost a lot of clients to that. So remember, I mean, we were 0.5%, 5/8 higher.
There's no such thing as free money. Usually it's either built into sales price or the interest rate somewhere. So just keep that in mind if you've got clients shopping new construction. Rates.
Yes.
They're awesome.
So I got a lot of calls after the Fed meeting. Rates dropped a quarter, rates dropped a quarter. What does that do? What does that do? When that news came out weeks ago that they were expected to lower rates, that's when we adjust. So basically it was, when they did drop them, we remain unchanged. If they would have done a 0.5 point or even raised rate, then that's what we'd have adjusted. So really they didn't change at all. They changed a couple weeks ago when the news came out that they were expected to lower rates. So we get a news update every single morning about what the market's doing, etc. Mortgages were improved a little bit yesterday. This made me laugh. Stocks got pounded yesterday. On the ride home, I saw my 401k begging for loose change on the corner. I thought that was good. So what are rates? Conventional right now, 30-year fixed, we're looking between 3.6, 3.75.
Wow.
FHA right around 3.5.
Wow.
And what's a jumbo loan?
A big one.
Over 4. A bigger. Jumbo, anything over 40, 4.350 right now, 3.875. So we're here to help. Send us your clients early, and let's have a good rest of the year.
Can I add something real quick?
No.
Yes.
Go.
On the magnets, there's a real estate agent I work with. She sends out, as she gets to know her client, you know, let's say it's I want my garden. She'll get Home and Garden magazine ordered, and this company ships out the magazines, puts a sticker on it with her picture, her information, and she pays $10 or $12 for the 1-year subscription to that magazine. If she does a loan for a guy and he's a hunter, sends.
That's a great touch too for little money.
Very inexpensive.
There's gun and garden. There's farm and garden. I mean, it's like
cars.
$8 to $12 a year. They get one a month or one.
And it's a
quarter.
big sticker. It's like this big, and it has picture, everything on it.
Yeah, all your gardeners. That's a real easy one there. Great idea. Thank you, Paul.
Cosmo.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week. All right, Miss Dillon. She did a closing for me personally yesterday, and
I did.
I'll give her an A+.
Would you please rate your client as well?
I was well better.
No comment. Hi, I'm Renee Dillon. I'm with Organic PC, one of the owners, and I manage the Ashford Dunwoody office. So to piggyback a little bit on their talk about new construction, I get calls all the time from agents representing buyers that are purchasing new construction, asking how to get out of the contract, how to change the terms of the contract. Just remember, when you're going under contract for a new construction home, I always say it's the builder's way or the highway. They craft their contracts to be very builder friendly. They are not purchaser friendly, and there's not a lot of wiggle room in them. I think I reviewed one where the builder had 2 years to complete the property. You know, they're very builder friendly. Just setting expectations with your buyers if they're signing new construction. Just let them know that there's probably not going to be a lot of wiggle room. They're unlikely to get out of the contract without losing earnest money or upgrade money that they've already put into it. So just let your buyers know that up front. New construction is fantastic. A lot of builders are great to work with. But like I said, I get calls very regularly for issues with new construction. So set expectations with your clients, just know that going in. They also don't use GAR for newer agents. Builders do not use the GAR contracts. They are almost always their own contracts. They are similar, but again, very skewed in favor of the builder. Any questions on that?
And they're always like 41 pages long.
And they're 4,000 pages.
Yeah, so realize that when you're doing new construction, you're going to have to set aside an evening to read that contract. That's what you do as an agent. I love new construction. When I sold, I love the process. I like my client, they want me to help them pick the lot, the whole process. I mean, you're with them a long time, obviously 3 months, sometimes to a year. I like the whole gig of new construction. But realize that you're going to have to read that contract with a highlighter and really note things that are extremely out of favor for your client. Sometimes you can change those, a lot of times you can't, but at least explain to your client that this is in here and I'm recommending you sign this and here's why. So as an example, I mean, Nancy will probably agree to this. So if you read most builder contracts, it says the builder almost can get out at any time, but the buyer can't, right? Which if you have a buyer that's an attorney, they're like, well, wait a minute, this isn't equitable, right? I mean, I want the same right. Well, the truth is the builder is, and they go, well, he's going to get a higher offer and then say, I'm out. That is not the intent of this. I mean, the longer you've been in the business, know the builder, you could say, I've never seen that happen. The intent is not for him to keep marketing the property and then get a higher price. I've never seen that happen. It's your house. They're doing this for one reason, and I've seen this happen, that they get a buyer that is the psycho of psycho.
We used to call that, and I apologize if I offend anybody, we call that the asshole contact. If your client behaves like an asshole, they're going to treat them like an asshole and kick them out.
Right, so they're literally out there 5 times a day. They're measuring the curve on every stud. It's just like, guys, we're right. And there are people like that, right? Right. So, but if we know the reason those strange things are in there, okay? And sometimes there are a few things that are so off base that you might go, we truly can't sign this when this changed. But if you know the intent of it, or you know that it's John Wheel, I mean, they've been doing this that's not what's going to happen. We just need to be able to explain that to our clients and just make them aware it's in here, but I'm good with this and here's why. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. Any other questions on that? Okay, then 2 quick announcements. Lynn and I are teaching Contracts 101, going over the purchase and sale agreement directly after team meeting today. If you're a newer agent, I encourage you to stay. Even if you've taken the class before, I always tell new agents to come back and take it again. You learn something new every time. And also, I just confirmed that our annual poker tournament is going to be Thursday, September 19th. It's the Tracy Todd annual fundraiser. We do it in Tracy's memory. And it's a fun night. We do it here in the training room. We have professional poker dealers come and play.
And tables.
And tables. It's the real deal. If you haven't been, it's a lot of fun. And it's also a good cause. So,
so 150
mark
buy-in.
the calendar. Yeah.
Yeah. And Renee and them do this for us. It's great. Even if you're not playing, come stay. It's fair amount. It's fun. It's fun to watch. We have a lot of adult beverage and food.
Trophies.
What?
Trophies. Trophies,
real glass
getting
trophies.
a trophy this year. Last year was the first year in years I didn't get one.
Okay, and realize too, you didn't know this, but y'all know of Brad Alexander, the Alexander son who passed away a couple weeks ago. But this is actually, we're going to call it the 7th annual Tracy Todd and the 1st annual Brad Alexander. So it's going to be for both of them this year.
Nice.
And next week in Austin?
Next week, if you are headed to Mega Camp, Certainty and Gannett are hosting a happy hour on Wednesday from 5 to 7 at Lambert's downtown. So please come by. You should have gotten an Evite, but if not, we can get you that information. Hope to see you there.
Good barbecue. Good barbecue. Thank you for doing that.
All right. Thank y'all.
Okay. Real quick, listen to Caravans. What do you got?
Bill Haas has a caravan today over off of Roswell Road, Hunt Cliff Golf Course Community, $525. Great value in this community. 11:30 to 1:30. Go see Bill.
Does sound good. Hank?
3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2006 build on Kingsborough Road, part of Buckhead, right where Buckhead and Brookhaven meet. We've had a price improvement, now $689, down from $705 to $689. So if you've got somebody looking $700 or less, come take a look.
Okay. Scott?
38 Sloan Street, downtown Roswell, right by the mill. It can be commercial or it can be residential. It does need a kitchen if you're looking for it to be residential. The kitchen's been torn out. It's a 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 3 doors off of Atlanta Street, or 4 doors off of Atlanta Street. It's a very motivated seller at $599, which is $100,000 below the local comp.
Wow. Walk through all the stuff.
We do the renovation on the kitchen.
There you go.
There you go.
Sounds like a good one. Who else? Johnny?
I got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath at Prescott at Park Place. It's going to hit the market probably Thursday. It's the larger floor plan, 1,300 square feet, 2 market spots. It's kind of tucked around the back in the second building that overlooks the little dog walk and all that. So it's a little private area. It's on the second floor, so it's not like on the ground floor, but it's got
Sounds good.
hardwoods in it. Come and take a look.
Who else?
329.
I have a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath townhome, Regency at Mansell, and great potential rental property, priced at $279 across the street from the GM tech plant. So some good potential rental opportunities there, or certainly a great place to live as well. $279.9.
Okay. Anyone else? Gigi?
I have a luxury rental in Midtown 1010, and it's beautiful. It's like being in Manhattan on the 20th floor.
It is.
It's sparkling from the windows all around. It's 2-bedroom and 2.5 bathroom, and it goes for $4,000 per month, and it's amazing.
Nice building, right by the Fed.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Good
2
building.
parking lots assigned, and all the beautiful perks of the luxury tenant.
Good one. Who else?
I need a tenant.
Okay, remember, traffic patterns changing. Over communicate this month. You got people distracted. They got kids getting back in school. They're not totally focused. Over communicate. Even help the other side with time frames in your deals. Check, double check. All right? Again, we're watching the Fed, we're watching the markets, but at this point, we're just paying attention. Stay afterward. We got contracts class with Lynn and Renee. Y'all have a good one. We will have sales meeting next week, even though we're in mega. We will have